Now, running a self-sufficiency farm is fun. It's a lot of fun, but there's a lot of hard work that goes into it. I'm sure you all wonder what amount of effort it takes to run a successful self-sufficiency farm. So in today's video, we actually want to take you through all that. We're going to run through a whole set of activities that you do on a daily basis so that our farm remains this successful and also you have as much fun as possible. And you know, we keep on increasing the size of our farm in terms of the crops we grow and the animals we keep over months. So this set of activities always changes and it actually becomes more intense or actually more activities as time goes by. So come along with us and experience a day at Taraji Eco Farm. So the first lot that we open for are the poultry here. So the first thing I'm going to open there, this paper first. And some guys say that we should not put this polythene sheet here, but it's important. Here where we are actually on top of a hill, and the wind is there's a lot of wind and it's very cold at night. So we've actually been in a place where we didn't have any polythene over here, and our birds got sick. So that's why we put it here because we don't want them to get sick at night because of the cold. So the first thing will be to remove the cover. And because of security, we always use padlocks on our locks on our poultry houses. So the first ones to come out will be the turkeys. Seem to be refusing to come out. Nice time for a lovely chicken. So we're also open for the doves to come out and just play around because I need to clean the house. So next will be the rabbits. They're not going to come out, of course. I'm just opening the shades so that the air can circulate inside their houses. That's good. Now we have two sets of chicken. We have the adults and we have the slightly young ones, will be about maybe 3 months old. They're not coming out as yet, but let me show you where they are, and that's what I need to open for them. This is their humble abode. So basically, by me doing this, just make sure there's more fresh air circulating in the rabbit, I don't know what they call rabbit shelters, the doves, and the chicken sheds. And then now I'll go to the next activity, which now I have to take out their water, uh, their water containers and their food containers and clean them, and then later on feed them. But we have different sections of the farm, so I'm just going to finish with the chicken, opening their sheds. I'm also going to check on the goats that are right behind there, and also going to a different section to check on the ducks and the other and there. We also have the two turkeys over there, and also some chicken. So the first thing is just to open their houses to let in fresh air, to show them it's a new morning and a new day for that matter. So recently we added goats onto our farm, and you can see that the next lot I'm going to check on. However, it's quite chilly. It's a chilly morning today. So for goats, we don't really let them expose them to the cold this early in the morning. So I think I'm just going to check whether there's any food left over here. There's a little bit, and they seem hungry. So I'm just going to open, just because these are zero grazed. So I'm just going to open where they access their food from, and they can eat. I'm going to give them fresh food later on in the day. So there are the goats. Yeah, so I've opened all on this part of the farm. I've opened all the animal sheds. And you can see now there's fresh air going in. It's not yet time for feeding. I need to go to a different section of the farm and also do the same thing. And then I start on feeding again. And I start on cleaning and then feeding later on. So, but you can see the goats are now 1 week on the farm, I think. Yes, 1 week on the farm. And they're doing very well. And they're very happy, as you can see. The first thing they do in the morning is they're feeding well. You can see their, what are they called? Their skin or their fur is very shining. They're looking very healthy. So first week on the farm, a really successful one for the goats, and we're really happy. Second section of the farm where we don't have we don't have a lot of poultry. We have ducks that actually stay permanently over here. We have a few chicken that are too young to join the others down there with their mother. We have also two turkeys that are also too young. They're too young to actually join the rest on the main section of the farm. And we also have a pair of guinea fowls over here, and it's yes, we have a pair of guinea fowls over here that stay here permanently. So the ducks come out. So these ducks come out. We have not been really very successful with ducks on this farm for the last few, no, almost a year now. But we keep them either way for, I think it's for aesthetics, because we've not even consumed duck meat or duck eggs for the last maybe 1.5 years or so. So this particular chicken completely refused to go to the lower part of the farm, the main farm. We've tried several times for the last, I think, 3 years now. It refused completely. So we just let it stay over here. It had some chicks. It had, I think, four chicks. One is, let me just, for lack of better, I would say disabled. I think when it was young, the mother stepped on it. And then you had 3 others that we tried to take them to they're actually 3 months old. We tried to take them to the lower part of the farm to join the other chicks, but they were beaten thoroughly. So we brought them back here, except one, which is a cockerel, which is quite big, and managed to stay over there. So this one stay here for another maybe month or so before they grow big enough and join the rest of the population. Now here we have two ducks. These ducks, and when you leave them outside, they actually go outside the fence and go and roam very fast. So these ones we don't actually let them out, because it becomes a struggle in the evening when you're closing in and they're not around. You have to go looking for them. So I'm going to just remove them from here because so that it can be cleaned and put them in another shed for now for the day. And you can also see, for security reasons, we have locks on all our poultry sheds, because there's a time we lost 2 chickens, I think, from here. So we decided we have to do security in all of them. So we have finally we have these 2 turkeys over here. There's a reason why we are not letting them out, though turkeys are usually supposed to be let out so they can feed on grass and other vegetation. But recently they had fowlpox, so they are still they are undergoing treatment. And then once we are certain that they are clear of the disease, we're going to let them roam with the other population. So for now they stay inside there, but they are also quite, I think, about 6 months old, and we don't even know whether they're male or females, but they're about 6 months old. So now we've actually opened all the sheds. We've done for the chicken, the adult chicken, the young chicken, the doves, the rabbits, the goats, the ducks, the turkeys too. Now there's a lot of fresh air circulating in their homes. So the next thing to do is now to clean off their yesterday's or their last night's dirt before we feed them. So my next activity now is cleaning. So you can basically see the droppings of the birds, and because the houses there's spaces in between the pieces of timber that are making the floor, a lot of it just comes down and dries up. And this is very good compost at the end of the day. You can actually appreciate why cleanliness is the most important part, I think. Just keeping the poultry sheds and the goat sheds hygienically clean every day, because in that way you avoid a lot of diseases and also other things. that can harm your birds. Especially, something else I need to mention here is that we have a lot of what we call safari ants. So if there's a lot of food leftovers or some of the droppings for the chicken, they'll come at night, and those safari ants can actually kill poultry. Even the young goats, they can actually kill them. So that's why we keep our areas very clean. Yeah. Now to the final part of cleaning, which I consider the most difficult, which is cleaning the goat shed. Luckily for us, inside the goat shed, now you can come close and see. Because of how professionally constructed the goat shed inside, you can see the flooring, there's spaces in between the pieces of timber. So most of the goat droppings just go straight down. And then it's not wet inside, you can see. The urine drops down, and also the goat droppings also drop down. So inside the house is very clean and dry, which is very important if you're keeping goats. But you also have to clean the below part. You also have to clean it every day so that the ammonia does not smell back into the goat shed, and also it doesn't accumulate a lot of droppings down there. So, but luckily again, we did the house very professionally. You can see the amount of space that I have to go down there and clean. The only thing I'm scared of is if they, they urinate on me when I'm down there. Hopefully they don't. And you can appreciate how quickly it is to clean this place, because this flooring, the ground one is concrete, so, and it's slanted a little bit. So the urine just flows downwards and the droppings also flow downwards. And so for us even to clean it with soap, you just need to put soapy water and it's going to flow downwards. And this place smells fresh throughout the day. You can imagine if the floor of the goat shed was not open, so the urine can flow, and this goat mixed with the urine and they slept on it. This would be like mud right now, and it will be quite smelly and very hard to collect. But you can hear these ones, they are actually quite dry. I think the most important also aspect of goat farming is hygiene. Goats are very sensitive to such things like that. So you really have to be very careful and be very hygienic when you keep goats. And we've shown you how to do it. So this is the first time. I'll also come back and sweep in the evening because they'll also have fed and there'll be a lot of droppings down there. So we'll sweep in the evening so they don't sleep again. They don't stay there overnight and smell. Yeah, so we've opened the shades. There's nice air circulation. We've cleaned the shades for all the poultry and the goats. Now they're clean. So of course the next part is feeding automatically. So feeding and water. But our chicken and our turkeys are free range. So for now, for these ones that are outside, you're not going to give them food. You only give them food when they're coming back inside later on in the afternoon. But for now, they're just going to free range. So go around. We have a compost pit over there where they feed from they feed on worms and other insects. They're also going to feed on the grass here and also insects that are flying around. So for the rest of the day today, we'll just give them water until it's time for them to go back inside. So these ones are done and they're happy like that. They actually enjoy going out there and foraging. Now this chicken, these ones do not go outside because they're quite young, and also you're trying to avoid fights with the adult chicken. But eventually they're going to come out and forage because that's how we manage our chicken at the farm over here. But for the next maybe 1 or 2 weeks, they are going to be feeding from inside here so they can gain some muscle and also some strength and grow a bit older. So this is the food we give them, just a mixture of crushed maize or corn for that matter, and then we mix a bit of it's called what, the chicken feet, the layers with it. So we have the ratio of 1 to 2. And basically what the crushing the maize does is help it helps us to reduce costs of feeding them, because if you are to feed them purely on food from the shops, it costs a lot. But we buy maize and crush it and then mix with the commercial feeds. So the next thing are the doves, and for them there's minimal work because mostly they'll take a while to finish their food. We put some plenty of food here. They're going to eat for several days, and you can see it's still clean and all that. All the doves outside, as I've seen, they are out now. Is it called foraging? They eat a lot of soil apparently, so they're out eating soil. But they left some 2 young ones inside. I know you can see them. Yeah, they left the 2 young ones. I think one is older than the other. They left their 2 young ones inside, and you can see one is bigger and the other is smaller. They're not brothers or sisters. What happened is we had 2 pairs of doves that got, or pigeons that got hatched their eggs, and each of them lost one of their, let me call them chicks, lost one of their chicks. So these two just bonded together because they're 2 that were remaining. That's why you see one is small and the other one is big. But what I do is I change their water every day. So that's what I'm going to do now. I just pour this water out and give them clean water. So we are at the place where we grow our food for the goats, and we had really planned this out properly. And that's very important if you're going to keep goats, because if you can grow your own food, then that reduces the cost of feeding drastically, and it's easier for you to manage goats. As you can see, you have different sections of napier grass. We have this one there that is ready, what you're harvesting now, and then we have another section down here next there that will be ready maybe in a month's time, and then you have another section down there you can see with the super pack chong that is ready for harvesting. So what we do is we take a little every day from here. This will take us another maybe 2 weeks or so, 2 3 weeks, and that one will be ready. We'll go to the below one, and after that we'll come back to the next one, then next one. So we have enough food here to sustain very many goats. I think we can actually run maybe 20 30 goats on this farm by using not buying any feed, just feeding them our napier grass. So today I'm just going to cut a little. The reason we do this, we don't give them just straight fresh, is that what we actually do is we harvest the day before, then we keep it, and by the next day in the morning, at least it's lost a bit of moisture. Then you're able to feed the goats then, as opposed to just getting it fresh from the garden straight to their mouths. So that's our practice over here. So let me just, and napier grass can be very tricky to handle. If you use it with, if you carry it on with your bare hands like this, you're going to scratch a lot. That's why I came with this sack. I'm going to arrange of them, and then I'm going to use it to carry them. So as I was saying, the good thing with this napier grass, or with napier grass, what we do is our practice here is that we cut from the very below part, and then in a few weeks it's growing again. It's going to grow again. So we'll always have napier grass from here. And our goats will always be fed, properly fed. Ooh. So you can see this one's going to grow back. So this will be sufficient for the goats for tomorrow morning. Then we'll cut some later on in the afternoon for tomorrow afternoon. So the goats have enough food for today. So the final part today is feeding the goats, or not the final part, but the final feeding part is feeding the goats. And usually for the goats and the rabbits, oh no, it's actually not the final, we have to feed the rabbits. But what happens is that we usually collect food for the goats and the rabbits the day before. Unfortunately, yesterday we were not around, so we didn't collect food for the rabbits, but we did collect food for the goats. So I'm going to, because we don't have a machine to cut, our goats actually feeding on napier grass, very young napier grass, and a bit of hay that we're going to show you. So because we don't have a machine to cut it, I have to cut it manually. So that's what I'm going to do now, cut the napier grass, because they struggle to feed when the leaves are whole like this. When they're whole like this, so you have to cut them into small, not very, but just to reduce the size a little bit so they can eat on them. So that's the next task I'm going to do. And because we don't have a machine to do that, it has to be manual. Okay, this is what I do. So of course, as we increase the number of population for the goats, which is our plan, we will have to buy a machine at some point to do this work, because you can imagine if you have more goats that we have now, it's going to take a whole day to cut napier grass for them. But for now, this one actually works perfectly because we only have 3 goats. And what I've realized is goats don't eat as much as we think. It's not like as much as cows. Goats will eat a certain amount of food, and once they're satisfied, they're just going to lie down, drink water, and that's it. Unlike cows that will feed, some of them in 24 hours. So while we're still here, for the goats, I'm not going to give them water now because it's quite chilly. So what I'm going to do is we're going to put their water somewhere where until the sun comes out, so it warms a bit. Goats don't like very cold water, especially these ones. And also, if you give them very cold water, I think it also affects them health-wise. So, but luckily, the napier grass is just full of water. So this one is going to suffice for now, and we will keep on adding more food during the day for them. However, for the for the water, I'll give them a bit later on when it's a little warmer. So we are going to look. We are going to look for food for rabbits somewhere where we planted the maize. But we passed by our garden, our lovely garden, and we've seen that we have a lot of leaves from the collard green that are like this. And I think it's because of too much water or too much rain per se. And the rabbits love the collard green. So today we're going to give them a special treat. And we're going to harvest all these leaves and give to them to enjoy. So let's go on and do it. Just taking the ones that have turned brown or completely or slightly brown. And because we consume collard green as the main vegetable in the house, this is going to be a treat because most of it is for our own consumption, but this is going to be a treat for the rabbits. You're actually going to see how they enjoy the collard green. I think they find it very sweet. You can see how much they enjoy collard green. I think this is their favorite snack on the farm, except carrots and carrot leaves. So it's now around 2 o'clock. So I just need to do like a follow up. I need to make sure everything is comfortable. Like they have water, they have food, and they are just comfortable. Just a quick check through the whole farm. So come with me and we do that. So the first check is usually the poultry or the animals that actually they're not coming outside. So I have to make sure they're actually comfortable. So we start with this small chicken. They're not very small, a couple of months old. But as you can see, they have sufficient water. And this water inside there, today we put pepper, ginger, and aloe vera. That's why the water is that color. But you can see they are comfortable. This moment, let me show you something. They still have some food from here. So they're still eating. But they have some food, they have clean water, and they're actually comfortable. So those ones are done. And just I want to show you quickly, if you come with me, and I'm not sure if you can see from here, we have water for the other birds. Remember I told you today's water has pepper, lots of pepper, ginger and aloe vera inside there. So as they walk around, they come there and they drink their water. That's why it's outside. We'll put it back inside later on when they go inside. The next thing we check on are the doves, and they're out foraging, as you can see. Yeah, there are 4 of them that are outside. Still have some food, and they still have some clean water inside here. So they're foraging around. They're going to come back to their houses. The only thing the next thing I need to check on are the rabbits. And you remember in the morning I gave them some collard green to eat. They've actually consumed everything. Remember I told you this is a treat for them. They love collard green, so it's a treat for them. They finish everything. So I'll go get some food and give to them. The funny thing about rabbits is that they don't like chew cud, so they run through their food once. So it's like they never get satisfied. They keep on eating, especially the green leafy vegetables or whatever. Yeah, the green leafy weeds. They eat that a lot. So you constantly have to keep on feeding them. So that's the one I'm concerned about, but I'm going to sort it out. Now we go check on the goats. Next part is our goats, our dear goats, the newest animals on the farm. They've been here maybe a week. Yeah, maybe a week. But you can see, if you can come closer and look, remember this one. You can see for lack of a better word, call the stomach. You can see how full it is. And then still has some more food over here. We have a bit of hay. We have some napier grass, and we have the clean water over there. Even the rest have the same. They can access water from here, both of them, and they have napier grass and some hay. In case the food runs out and we see they still want to eat, we'll add them some more food. But goats don't eat as much as cows. So once they eat and you can see their tummies are well and full, that's it for the day. They'll just drink water and rest. So everything's okay for now. So the only thing I need to do now is going to collect some more weeds for the rabbits. And let's go and do that. So we're here collecting weeds for the rabbits. And I'm just going to collect 2 types of weeds. Maybe I can show you quickly. We have this kind, which are the rabbit's favorite. We also collect some, it's called what? This one, blackjack, the young ones. There's nice leaves here, and the rabbits love that. That's what I'm going to collect now. So feed the rabbits for the day and the night. So it's about 5 o'clock, or just a few minutes shy of 5 o'clock. It's time for everything to go back inside now because they have had a whole day outside. So now we are on the final part of the activities for the day. which is now going to, especially the chicken, bring the chicken and the turkeys back to their houses. So let's go and do that. So these are the first ones. They've had food the whole day. They have sufficient water. You can see some of them actually resting or patching up on the place where I put for them to patch. So they've had a good day. Now it's time for us to close for them so they can rest in the evening. So the first thing, remember, is security. We always put locks on all our chicken coops or animal sheds. Then you have to put the polythene down there because the wind at night here is very cold. So finally, after a long day, you've the chicken are inside, the turkeys are inside, the ducks and the guinea fowl, they're all inside. Now it's for the goats, but the goats I'm going to leave them a little longer. That's because they have some food here that they are going to finish. And currently this area is very warm. So I'm going to let them probably eat until around maybe 8 o'clock. Then I come and close for them. And maybe you can come close and see how much food they eaten for the whole day. You can imagine the amount of food that we have put inside here. You see how much they've consumed and what is remaining. And I guess by around 8 o'clock, 8 p.m., they'll have finished this food and the water. And then at that point, you're going to remove the water because every day we give them fresh water. You're going to remove the water and then close for them to sleep for the night. Then in the morning, we do the whole routine again. So guys, that's typically it. That's a typical day on the farm here. You can see there's a lot of work involved. It's almost a normal routine because you have to open, let the air in, you have to clean, then you have to give them water, and then you have to give them food for the day, and they have to keep on checking on the animals and the poultry. Now, one important thing is that what you do is I always monitor in between. I have to go and monitor and look at the state of the poultry, whether there's any signs of sickness, or even the goats. Because goats are also quite interesting. They can get sick very fast, and then you're going to lose them within hours. So within the day, you have to keep on monitoring the health of the animals and all that. But you've shown you what a typical day looks like at the farm. So despite all the fun that you have on the farm and harvesting and all that, we actually have a lot of work that goes into it. And this is only to do with the animals. We've not shown you the work you have to do with weeding or digging on the farm or planting or making sure animals don't come into the farm sometimes. So it's a lot of work. It's a busy routine, but in the end, it's all very rewarding. It's very rewarding. It's something that like all the hard work we put into it, it's very good. It feels very good to see our animals healthy and comfortable and all that. So yeah, hope you really enjoyed today's video. Please feel free to comment on the comment section, share with your friends, and yeah, also let us know how you're doing at your farm there, or if you're planning to do your farm, what you're going to plant, or what animals you're going to keep, or what kind of poultry you're going to keep. And see you in the next one.